Okay, so this build right here is a little different from most. It's still pretty cool in my opinion, but there are definitely some things that we need to talk about right now. So let's get right into it. Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Kobe, and in this video, I give you this, a full PC build featuring the RTX 3060. Now this build is a little different from all the other builds that I have done so far on the channel. Why? Because there are some parts in this build that I've actually never used before up until now. Normally, I will try to find deals on certain parts to give the build an appealing price point. But this is the first time where I actually received some parts from different companies to show off the build itself. I am super excited to show you all exactly what is in this build, so let's get into exactly what is in this PC and exactly how well it performs. So to start off with the processor, we have the ultimate unicorn. This PC is rocking the Ryzen 3 3300X. This is a 4-core, 8-thread CPU that is well known as one of the more rare chips to get in the market today. This originally released in early 2020 with a price tag of about $120, but this is a special chip and it's almost impossible to find it in the market. I've actually had the CPU since launch of last year and I've never wanted to showcase it because it was so hard to find. But I also wanted to include it at one point and I figured better late than never. It has been showing up a couple of times in stock over the last few months, so it does seem like there are still some of these chips in circulation, and I wanted to see how well 4 cores can do with their new GPUs, so here we go. For the RAM, I have the Silicon Power X Power Turbine RGB RAM. This was actually sent to me by Silicon Power themselves, and I thank you guys very much for letting me check out one of your products. This is a 16GB kit running at 3200 MHz, which is a great combo for Ryzen 3000. Depending on pricing, 3200 MHz can give you great price to performance, and this kit is no exception. It has an all aluminum heat spreader along with some nice RGB accents on top to give it a very nice look. The motherboard is the Gigabyte Aorus Elite B550 motherboard. This actually came bundled with the RTX 3060, and it's a pretty great looking board that gives you all the features that you would need from it. It has a nice number of USB ports, PCIe Gen 4 support, BIOS flashback, and a very nice beefy heatsink for your VRMs. Besides the lack of Wi-Fi, this is a pretty nicely equipped board. The GPU is the RTX 3060. This is the Gigabyte Evo overclock version, and it is a great graphics card if you can find it for a good price. Now yes, I know GPUs are hard to come by, but if you manage to find this one in stock, you're going to get a great piece of hardware. I love the fact that it requires only one PCIe 8-pin connector, which can make your build look a little bit cleaner, albeit if you had some sleeve cables, but it means you don't have to have any extra cables in your case. The power supply is the Corsair CX550M. This is a 550 watt bronze rated power supply with all black cables, which can make the overall aesthetic look absolute clean. It's enough to power the RTX 3060, which is why I went for it, but you can easily find other power supplies at around this wattage for even cheaper prices. Now as for the storage options, I have a 120GB SSD from PNY and a 1TB hard disk drive from Toshiba. The only reason why I use this combo is because they are my only spare drives I have at the moment, and I already have the operating system installed along with the games. In due time, this will be upgraded, but I always like to reserve about $100 for a storage option for a PC build. So in this case, let's just say the storage is about $100. And finally, the case that we have here is the Apevia Genesis mid-tower case. This was sent over to me by Apevia themselves to check out their line of cases, and overall, I love it. It does come in various colors, but I chose the black and white color scheme that's included. It's also included with 4 RGB case fans, which are controlled by a button on top of the case. The fans do a great job of pushing air, although the front of the case has very little gaps to allow air in, something that I was definitely worried about in my testing. but when actually using the computer, it was not an issue. It has a nice magnetic filter on the top, which doesn't really get used at its stock configuration, but if you do want to add more fans later on, it is right there for you. A couple things I didn't like too much about the case was the fact that the fans are connected via Molex. It is very disappointing to have this connector, as most fans and cases have moved to the SATA connector standard. This is something I wish they can fix in the future, but since I don't plan to add extra fans, this will do for now. Also, parts of the frame of the case are a little bit flimsy like the metal back. Removing the PCIe covers on the back was also annoying because you have to push it out, and once you take them out, you cannot put them back. It's like a one-time use PCIe cover. Now the case did come with some extra covers, but it's still a feature I wish was never there, as it can feel like you might be bending the case just to pull these things out. But overall, I genuinely love the case for its nice white and black aesthetics, its two tempered glissite panels, and how the RGB fans look in the case. It wasn't really hard to build in a case, which is a winner in my book. Thank you Apivia for allowing me the chance to check out this case, by the way. I am truly grateful. So if you manage to find these parts and pay close to MSRP, you're looking to spend around $1,100 for this PC. Now, of course, we are in the year 2021, so prices and availability will vary, so I can't say for sure you will be spending this amount of money on a similar PC. These are just the prices I've paid for personally, along with the two components I received from Silicon Power and Apivia, respectively. If you manage to find these parts at or around the price, then you have one hell of a gaming PC. But how well does it actually perform? Well, I tested a variety of games at 1080p to give you all an idea of how it actually performs. So let's check out the benchmarks and we will come back around to discuss this overall PC. So there you guys have it. For the price point, and I really have to air quote that because I know that's hard to do right now, this is actually a pretty dope PC. Now I'm sure some of you noticed a couple of things when looking at the FPS numbers. Really quickly, I just wanted to say that the 3300X is a great CPU. There's a reason why this chip is rare, but 4 cores in 2021 has really started to show its age. And with games like Forza, where you can see the overall results can provide a CPU bottleneck, and the same thing with Shadow of the Tomb Raider, it does seem like 4 cores will hit its inevitable end way sooner than we think. Also, I wanted to point out that for me personally, the parts chosen for this PC was not specifically tailored towards aesthetics. There are definitely some things I would like to change on this build to make it look a little bit nicer. For example, a better CPU cooler and also some sleeved extensions. But I know people love their RGB, and this build clearly has lighting all over the place, which makes a PC stand out in many different ways. I just wanted to give a quick shout out to both Apivia for their case and Silicon Power for their RAM. I am truly grateful to showcase these products for you all, and if you guys want more information on both of the case and the RAM, I left the product links in the description below for you guys all to check out. But I hope you guys did end up enjoying this video. Make sure to hit like if you did, and also do not forget to hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and we will see you all in the next one.